Hello, and here I am again for another review for LTM, and this time it's Amazing Spider-Man 2. So let's get down to it. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Well, went into the cinema, and again we had the usual trailers that accompany a Marvel movie. We had Transformers, Age of Extinction, which wasn't in 3D. That was just in 2D. But we had Days of Future Past in 3D, and there's a little bit more to that as well later on. But we had the Days of Future Past trailer in 3D, and I've got to be honest, I wouldn't see this movie in 3D. Based on what I saw in the trailer, I wouldn't see it in 3D. For some reason the CGI seemed to look like it was clipping. It just looked like it was jump, 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 jump. I don't know whether or not that was for the trailer, but for me, a trailer is something that sells a movie, and this didn't do it for me. If I'm going to see this movie, I'm going to see it in 2D, because the 3D didn't impress me. We also had the Tom Cruise movie, I can't remember what it's called. It's the one where he dies over and over and over, dressed like a mech bot or whatever the hell it is. Am I going to see that one? I suppose I'll have to, but do I want to? Not really. It's not something that really gripped me. So let's get on to brass tacks. Let's get down to it. Let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2. What can I say about this film? Again, I saw it in 3D. This movie is engineered for 3D. It really is engineered for 3D. It's cinematography for this movie makes it look special. It's not a gimmick. The 3D in this movie isn't a gimmick. You start off with the cinema screen and everything goes back into the distance. There's nothing that comes out and pokes you in the eye. But it's photographed absolutely beautifully. Whoever it was, and I'm going to have to look it up, whoever the cinematographer was on this film, he done a bang up job. Really understood how to shoot for 3D. You get a feeling of when you're with Spider-Man swinging through the city, you get that depth and you get that feeling. It's very immersive. It's very, very nice. What else can I say? Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone do a bang up job in this film. It's a cracking performances out of them. And also Norman Osborn. You get a feeling of a sick individual, a person who's not mentally but dying sick, and he really pulls off a stunning performance there. It's for the material that he's given, he was really very, very good. But the special effects in this film were amazing, and when I said that this movie is engineered for 3D and not a gimmick, it's because the action in this film isn't that Paul Greengrass, Mark Foster shaky cam action. There's hardly any of that in it. In fact, the action seems to slow down. It seems to be more fluid and dynamic, and you get to see everything. There's bullet time moments in this movie where you just go, wow. And it really does look impressive. It's very, 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 very nice. You won't find a more beautiful looking film this year, I don't think. But you have to see it in 3D. And I don't like saying that, because you should think that a movie should be able to be viewed on both platforms. But this movie, as I said, it's immersive. You get drawn into it, and it looks fantastic. Positive. That's one of the positives. Other positives of this film are Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man delivers a great performance. He's the gobby, mouthy teenager. He's always witty. He's always running down the bad guys. He's always come up with quirks and quips. It's something that you really want. He's very happy as being Spider-Man. You can get to see that he is having fun as Spider-Man. He's everything that you want from the character of Spider-Man. You know, he's really funny, really witty. Some of the jokes work, some of them are obviously a little bit lame, but that goes along with the character. He doesn't always come up with the best material, and sometimes he points it out. The failings of this film, okay, where to begin? I didn't like the story. I didn't like the story. For one reason is that the story is set over a longer period of time. It's set over roughly about 10 years, and it cuts into moments into the film to tell the bigger story. But this feels like there are 4 Spider-Man stories stitched together. It doesn't feel like one fluid story. It feels like they shot 4 films, and they didn't have enough material to make each film 2 hours long, so they stitched all 4 together to give you one film. It doesn't break, really. There's an overrunning arc, but you kind of get the Spider-Man's dealing with this villain. It's like you're watching a TV show and you're watching the episodes back to back. It's just one of those things. I didn't like it. I didn't like that way of telling the story. Other things, there's a couple of makeup issues here and there. For one thing, Jamie Foxx's Max Dillon at the start, before he becomes Electro, he's got this gap in his teeth, and you can clearly see where they've painted it. You can clearly see they've painted the gap in his teeth. It's still a set of false teeth that he's wearing, but you can clearly see the bit in between has been painted. Given that they spent so much money on CGI, you'd have thought that somebody in the CG department would have just done a bit of rotoscope work here and there. It's not awful, but you can notice it. Other things that I didn't like in this film were, I didn't like Green Goblin. Gotta say it outright, didn't like Green Goblin. I thought the actor was great, I thought the performance he gave was good, but the costume, I don't know why they do this. I genuinely, everybody's got in their mind an idea of what Green Goblin should look like. And every single time you see him on screen, that's not what's in here. You know, Green Goblin is a theatrical maniac, and you don't get that. You get a guy in a tech suit, and you're going, that's not Green Goblin. You know, I don't know what that is, but it's not Green Goblin. That's not what's in here. Max Dillon looks fantastic as Electro, but again they stick him in a black rubber tech suit. To me, when you see him as Electro, you go, okay, yeah, okay, I get that, I understand that. And there is, on the positive side, there is an absolutely massive, iconic Spider-Man moment in this film, and it's down to Andrew Garfield to sell it, and oh yes, he sells it. I'm not going to tell you what that moment is, but it's in there. Also, for some reason, I don't know why I noticed this, but Emma Stone gets out of a police car. She goes round to the back of the police car, and on the back of the police car, and I don't know why, and maybe somebody could tell me, but the number plate on the police car reads 1701. I don't know why. Maybe it's an in-joke, maybe it's the art department having a laugh, I don't know, but I did notice it. So that's it, pretty much. If you are going to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 and you don't see it in 3D, you'll be missing part of the experience. It does look amazing, it does look beautiful, it is very, very well photographed, it is very well put together, but the storytelling lets it down. It's not on the actors, it's not on anybody else really, it's just part of the way the story's told. I didn't like it. I loved the stories that were being told, because they seem to be not wanting to get these bad guys together and fight Spider-Man. He's dealing with one, dealing with another, dealing with another, but it does feel like there are 4 episodes of a TV show that have just been edited together. So that's it, that's Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm going to rate this as 7 out of 10. Okay, it's a 7 out of 10. If I didn't see it in 3D, I think it would be a 6.8. I think not seeing it in 3D would have taken something away from it. In fact, if I didn't see it in 3D, I'd have probably waited for the Blu-ray. But it is worth seeing it. If you are going to see it in 3D, because it just looks fantastic. So yeah, 6.8, 7 out of 10 if you see it in 3D. Oh yes, the bit I was going to mention to you. I don't know if this is in every version of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but the credits started to roll and we had a little glitch. And the little glitch in the credits was a cutscene from Days of Future Past. Now then, I don't know if it's in every version of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but if it is, it's as the names roll, not during the whole little bit that they normally do. It's as the black and white credits roll up. There's a bit of interference. You get to see the Cerebro GIF come in, and then they showed a cutscene, well, not a cutscene, but a scene from Days of Future Past, which did get me excited for the film, but again, I'm not going to go see it in 3D. Anyway, that's it for me and my review of Amazing Spider-Man 2. You can subscribe on YouTube, you can go over to Google Plus and join the Let's Talk Movies community, and you can also check out previous reviews and previous episodes of different movies and Let's Talk Movies.